All right, take 32. Hey, Ryan!
Hey, Brian!
It's time for another episode of the Geek Dad Report.
I'm so excited about that!
Me too, because on the show this week we have Star Wars news, Geek Dad Moment of the Week, unicorns, dragons, recommendations, and maybe even one or two comic book reviews.
I'm thinking we're only going to have one.
Well, one is better than none. And you know what else is better than none?
No episodes from the Geek Dad Report for our faithful 50 to listen to?
Yeah!
Yeah.
We'd like to thank everybody. This episode of the Geek Dad Report is brought to you by Unicorn Masturbation Pillow Pets, the one trusted pillow pet that you can use every time you need to masturbate unicorns, rainbows out of your penis. Guaranteed to make your masturbation experience the best ever, or your money back guaranteed.
It is, and only for 5 easy installments of $99.99. How you cannot beat that.
You can definitely not beat that. So if you'd like to ejaculate rainbows, send us your Visa card number and you'll get your masturbation unicorn pillow pet immediately expedited 2-day, maybe 1-day delivery in the mail to your door right today.
Yeah. You can't beat that, but you can beat your penis. Roll music.
Oh, we them bad boys. Sip the cane, yeah. C's, the MC Sam, Buddy Aces. Let's go.
Welcome, everybody. Yes.
Hey.
It is time for episode
Ghost Boys today.
46 of the Geek Dad Report. Boom. Ryan, did you know it's the one show dedicated, formulated, specially created to making sure everybody has all the information and talking about masturbating unicorn pillows and possibly Superman?
I would like to thank our new sponsor and the truckload of money that they dumped upon us to give that commercial for them. So
yeah, it's a big day for us, man. Our first official sponsor, the Masturbation Unicorn Pillow Pet. So hey. Thank you very much. We appreciate your patronage, and we will definitely be promoting the hell out of that thing. Me and Ryan are supposedly going to be getting ours in the mail, so hopefully on a future episode we'll give you guys a recommendation and a full review of our Unicorn Masturbation Pillow Pet.
Yes.
Brought to you by Deadpool.
Deadpool!
Go see my fucking movie. It's awesome.
Yeah, we do have a little bit of Deadpool update.
Of course.
For this week. But we'll get to that later.
For those of you who notice we have a little new intro to the show, we're trying some new things out, and we want to we strive every week to continually make this show the best possible. So I don't know, we thought we'd have a little fun and try something different. So if you like our new little intro, we will continue to do that. And if you don't like it, well, to hell with you. We are professionals, you are not. So unless you are a professional, like if you're Kevin Smith and you're listening, please hit us up. We'd be more than happy to listen to you if you're going to pay us.
Yes. And honestly, we just thought it'd be fun, and it only took us 32 takes to do it.
Yeah,
so
something like that.
You know, that just shows our dedication to what we think is good. So enjoy.
Yeah. Also, on a side note, right now our we hopefully have ironed out, knock on wood, all our technical difficulties. So everyone can see Ryan's beautiful face this week, and hopefully we'll keep it that way. If for some reason his video craps out this week, I swear to fucking Jesus, I'm going to be buying some new software. Microsoft, just so you know, you're unnoticed. Just throwing that out there. Anyway, on with the show. So, hey man, Geek Dad Moment of the Week. Did you have a Geek Dad Moment of the Week, Ryan?
My week has not been full of any Geek Dad moments, to be honest. My wife had surgery on Friday, and I've been taking care of her, and then my son got sick, and I got sick for 2 days. So if you want to count that, I laid on bed and watched a show with him. That's probably about the most geekiest dad thing. Oh no, we did do a science experiment. We filled a Ziploc bag full of water, and you take some pencils and you poke it through both sides, and the water doesn't leak out because the bag seals around the pencil. So then you can just kind of talk to your kids about, how the science aspect of, why the water's not coming out and all that shit. So, yeah, there's my Geek Dad moment of the week.
I really feel like you missed a golden opportunity to play like Operation and pretend like it was your wife. Be like, look, son, this is where Mama's gallbladder used to be. Whoop, gone.
Yep, and it comes out just like that.
Well, that is a good time, right?
Yes.
I'm glad that you you never miss an opportunity to have a cool science experiment with your kid.
We do lots of science stuff in my house because I want them to be scientists so they can build me a spaceship, and then I can live my dream of flying in a Firefly. So
Nice. Firefly class. Serenity.
Yes.
Yeah, my daughter just yesterday told us she wanted to be an astronaut. And then I told her you had to sit in space for a whole year, and she was like, I don't know about that. That seems doesn't seem very good. What she was explaining, I'm guessing they were I'm guessing they were talking about astronauts in school because she was talking about how they're going to put a Washington State flag on the moon. I don't know. My Geek Dad moment of the week this week happened to be I did a fun review with my daughter this week. I don't know if we talked about it on the show before, but I took my daughter to go see, both my daughters to go see the new Disney film Zootopia last week while we were on vacation. And my daughter, both of them wanted to be part of my review, and they were very excited about it. So we actually did our first review. So both my daughters are going to get their first taste of being a big movie critic.
And I'll have to say that 30 seconds in, I could not handle the adorableness. So
yeah, I've already sent it to Ryan to take a look at it and let me know what he thought. So before we send it to the Disney rep, so it was Ryan approved. So it will be airing probably sometime next week. It's a standalone. Ryan, unfortunately, will not be part of this.
yes, I did not see the movie. So,
but all of you people who think that we're fakes or frauds, well, screw you. My children will be on a review with me, so you can see my adorable two daughters and listen to their opinions.
Well, one opinion.
Well,
really.
One opinion, and my youngest just sat there being. You know what's funny about that? So we decided after we did the review, after we watched the movie, I knew that I wasn't going to do a review with both of them because one's 6 and one's 3. One can talk well, the other one just kind of rambles incoherently. And so we set it up and we did it. Well, we couldn't do it too late. I couldn't wait till Charlie went to bed because she goes to bed at like 9 or 10 sometimes when she finally lays down and goes to sleep. And if I waited that long for my oldest, she would have been way too exhausted to do a review with me. So Mama took the youngest upstairs, and she was trying to divert her attention while I'm doing my review with Addison. So neither kid would shut up at all about the movie until I get them on camera and hit record. We did a few test runs so she could work it out. And then the moment I said, okay, this is our official one, boom, didn't want to talk. And I had to, well, you saw the video. I had to kind of get the information out of her. I mean, she talked, and then she opened up a lot more towards the end. But as soon as we were done, we took it upstairs, and she wanted to show her mom, so we showed her mom, and of course her younger sister was like, I want to be on it. So I'm like, all right. So I come back down, set back up, and I figured I'd just splice it together. I do a little 30-second, 1 minute. I think it was a minute long, and we added on to the end of it. And I wanted to get Chuck's opinion. And she got, okay, what do you want to say, Chuck? And so she's telling me all what she wants to say and this and that. And so I'm like, all right. So I hit record, and I'm like, what'd you think of the movie? And she's like,
Charlie,
the fox.
Charlie just sitting there going like this. It was just so hilarious. I just started busting up laughing.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I mean, I got her to talk at the end, but I thought it was pretty fun. So
yeah.
But like I said, that was my Geek Dad moment. That was a fun moment. I've never done an official review with my kids. They've been asking me to do something. My daughter, my oldest, likes to make little iPad videos and mess around just for fun. So this was her first official one that's going to go upload to the internet. So I'm sure once we get it up next week, I'm sure all her grandparents and stuff are going to love it and social it and share it. But she'll have her big star moment of the week. But it was fun. I had a good time. I'm looking forward to doing a few more with her in the future. So hopefully we get to go to a few more Disney movies and she can check it out. And she can do a review with me. But like I said, you guys, we're going to have that up probably later next week. So probably Wednesday or Thursday it should be up. So definitely let us know what you think. And let me know if you guys like me doing some Geek Dad Report reviews with my daughter. So If you guys like it, we can put Ryan on the spot and make him do it. He's got 2 kids.
Yeah, I got kids. Lincoln and I had a show. It ran for like 18 episodes. A Lincoln to the Past. So we can bring that back.
Maybe we can do like the Geek Dad Showdown where we have our kids and we make them review.
No, we've already tried letting our kids Skype. It does not work.
That's true. Well, it's because we always include the youngest, which never ends well.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh well. All right.
Well, should we jump into Ninja News?
Yeah, let's do it, man. Let's jump into the Ninja News. Are we gonna play our cool theme song? Ready?
Yeah.
Go Ninja! Go Ninja! Huh!
Go!
Yeah! Yeah! Wow! And this is in no way. Oh wow! Ryan, you just threw a foot up in the air. Hope you didn't pull a hammy at your age. That's terrible. I would. If I did a kick right now, I would knock my computer over and completely destroy my entire studio, and definitely pull a hammy. Oh well. I'd like to say for the record too that song has nothing to do with the '91 Go Ninja Go Vanilla Ice version that was shown in the.
You only
Ninja
said
Turtle
like
2
the
soundtrack.
word like twice. I don't think you can copyright Go Ninja.
Has nothing to do with it. Our Go has 2 O's in the Go, so
Yeah.
it's totally different. That didn't make any sense. Maybe we should do like the Samurai Ninja Go / news. That's stupid.
You lost me, Brian.
Why don't you stop me from saying dumb things, Ryan? This is your fault.
Because sometimes it's really funny, and sometimes it just utterly fails, and
Sometimes
they
just crash and burn like that. All right, whatever,
Yeah.
man. What? You're terrible. You're the worst co-pilot ever. You're supposed to let me know when I'm walking into landmines like that. Here we go.
No, sometimes you gotta let you hit the landmine, so then everyone can just watch you explode, and then sometimes it's really funny. Like you'll be like the dummy. Like in the movies where it's like all floppy.
People watching me explode is part of my creative process, Ryan. Explode with my...
That's what she said.
Don't forget to buy your masturbation unicorn pillow pet, brought to you by Deadpool.
Yeah.
For 5 easy installments of $5.99. All right, so first up on Ninja News, as always, we lead. Damn, stupid chords. Star Wars news, people.
You know, I just have to say that I love it when Siri dictates how you write sometimes, or how you do the news sometimes.
Oh my God, you can no make. Oh Jesus.
No, you can no make the. This is Brian's first news item, everyone. You can no make the instant bread that Rey ate on, but ate like the number on Star Wars Episode 7.
I know what it means, Ryan. It's not my fault you don't know what it means.
Yes, I know what it means, Brian. I'm just telling you, it's pretty hilarious.
I know. Okay, well, people, a little look behind the scenes here. I don't get home until late sometimes, like tonight. I didn't even get home from work till like 7 o'clock, so I have to take a shower, eat dinner, get my studio set up, because this whole magic you see in front of you right now is set up every single Thursday night for you guys. I have to get all that done. Then I have to get the news done. I have to read the comic book that me and Ryan are going to review because, you know, God forbid we ever do this like on a Tuesday or Wednesday. Somebody doesn't give us the comic books in the folder until like Thursday afternoon. I don't know who that is. And then I have to sit down after I've set all this up, and then I have to sit down and do all the news. I'm not whining. I just want you guys to know what I do. And so the fastest way to do it is I have all my news written down, or I have all my news saved on my phone, and then I have to put it onto a note so I can send it to Ryan. So the fastest way to do it is the Siri talk to text. And Siri doesn't know what the hell she's talking about, because half the time she puts stuff up on here like, you can no make the instant bread that Rey ate on Star Wars Episode 7. And when it says 8, it's the number 8, not like EAT.
Yeah, and I have to sit here and wait for Brian to do all those things.
You know, I never really thought about that aspect.
So who do you think has the harder job in this?
That's probably true. You know, I never really thought about that fact. Maybe that's why you never
started. You know, maybe I need to start pulling my weight a little more.
Ryan, this is all my clever way of making sure that I'm always vital to the show.
Yeah, that's true.
You gotta make sure you gotta make yourself important. All right. We've stalled long enough. Hope you guys enjoyed that little look behind the scenes. Brought to you by Unicorn Masturbation Pillow Pet. From Deadpool. This guy. Alright. What Ryan was trying to say is that you can now officially make your own instant bread that Rey ate on Star Wars Episode 7. So that cool little concoction where they're like, quarter, 3/4 portion. that she made. That was an actual prop that was designed. It was made for the movie, and the recipe has now been leaked online and how you can make it. So
yeah, taste quality probably not that good.
it's a lot of ingredients, and I'm not gonna lie, if it's not like scrambled eggs, I can't really make it. So if any of you guys are better at cooking than I am, please make it and let us know if it's any good, and we'll try it. If you guys want the recipe, I was gonna write it down, but Siri would have never figured it out. So just Google it, and they have all the ingredients and the steps to make it online. So if you want to be like Ray, now's your chance. You still need to learn to use the Force, though, but we'll put that aside.
Or get your own BB-8, but
So hey, here's news, Ryan. Did you know that Disney bought Star Wars? Oh my
really?
God. Part of the things that they want to do that since they bought them is turn Disneyland and also into Star Wars land. And so right now they're in the process of building a whole section of Disneyland into Star Wars land. They basically are closing down most of the Frontier land, I think is what it is, and that's where they're
all the shit that nobody cares about anymore.
Yeah, nobody cares about it. I think I went on a Thunder Mountain ride once, and it was like, this is lame, I'm out. But so they've closed down most of that right now, and that's where they're doing a lot of the construction. But no date on when the new rides and stuff are going to be open, but that's not stopping Disney from making it part of their celebration. They just announced, well, they had two different announcements. One, they just kind of released on the internet via press release, and then the other one, they did a live show on ABC about Disneyland. I think it's the 60th anniversary of Disneyland. They had Harrison Ford come out and announce a bunch of stuff for the upcoming expansion. Some of the stuff that he announced was basically he showed a lot of concept art and what's coming and what we can look forward to. Basically, it showed all these different Star Wars themed restaurants and there's going to be Wookiees walking around, and every single character you can think of from the Star Wars movie is going to be represented in this Star Wars land. Oh, I know. I'm just so excited. I can barely even talk about it, honestly. But one of the rides that he did kind of show off was there's going to be a virtual reality Millennium Falcon ride where you can pilot. Apparently, you're going to be able to pilot the Falcon against a lot of First Order troops and stuff like that, and TIE fighters. So, you know what? I don't give a damn. I don't care.
It's going to be awesome.
I'm so sold. But if you cannot wait,
there's going to be so many people leaving their kids at home to go to Disney.
I think there might have to be a Geek Dad Report official trip
Disneyland episode. I think we should totally do that.
Yeah, we need to start. Let's tell you what. I think we'll send Disney my Zootopia review, and we'll see if that greases the wheels for an all-expense, full review of their Disneyland Star Wars Land edition.
I think it would.
Well, and like I said, we said unfortunately there's no release date on when they're going to have the final construction done. Hopefully it's before next October when I go to Disneyland, but that's 2017, so hopefully we got a little bit of time. But if you cannot wait for some cool Star Wars stuff, they are starting to roll out a lot more Star Wars stuff even now. One of the things they're going to do is they're going to have a Disneyland, or what I put it, a stage celebration. Sorry, I lost my notes there. They're gonna have a cool stage celebration where they have all the characters. They're gonna have Darth Vader, Darth Maul, Kylo Ren, a whole bunch of people coming out and doing like not a play, but just a fun routine number that they do, and interact with the fans. If anybody's been to Disneyland in the recent years, they have the kid Padawan training where they roll Darth Vader and Darth Maul out. So it'll be something similar to that. I don't know if it would be as much kid interaction as much as everyone interaction, but it definitely sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. And starting in April 4th of this year, they're going to start doing a Disney laser light show, a Star Wars laser light show, and fireworks show. So if you've ever been to Disneyland, they got some pretty epic fireworks shows every night, and now they're going to be Star Wars themed. Apparently, they're going to have these laser lights that shoot straight up in the sky that look like lightsabers, and they're going to duel as the fireworks are exploding to Star Wars music. So
that's going to be awesome. You know what? Disneyland is going to increase the price on everything by like $1,000 just because there's going to be so many fucking nerds paying that to just get in now.
I don't even know if they have to, honestly. I mean, they're going to increase. There's going to be so many people getting in there right now. I don't even think they need to increase the price to make a profit. It's going to be so packed. I had one of my customers. Sorry, I'm quitting this Hangouts thing here. I had one of my customers who, she does like marathons at Disneyland. She goes down there and they have their Disney 10K that you can run through the park. So the last one they did was actually a Star Wars themed like 5K, and she said already people were just. She went there to do it, and this is right. I mean, this is last summer, right after they kind of started doing the Disneyland Star Wars stuff.
Yeah.
And she said there's people lined up around the street in Star Wars gear, ready just to get in and see what the new merchandise is and all the new attractions. And they haven't even opened the new attractions yet. So
Yeah.
it's going to be huge. It's going to be massive. Be prepared to wait in line. I don't know how long the lines are going to be, but they are going to be really long.
Yes.
Oh, man. Let's see what else we got for you. We got a little more Star Wars news. We won't spend too much more time on it.
A lot of drones.
Yeah. So, obviously, Disney is very...
Protective?
They take their security very seriously when it comes to their Star Wars movies. I will say, though, that we have already seen more things tweeted about and pictures on set of Star Wars 8 than we did of the entire Star Wars 7 run. So I don't think they're being as secretive as they were when they did The Force Awakens. But that being said, they want to make sure no one gets any footage of the film or any spy photos or anything that they don't release. And so to help with that, they've hired 600 guards to protect the sets, and they've employed a whole, I don't know if employed, but purchased an entire fleet of drones that they're going to be patrolling the skies, knocking out drones from like press people. It is literally drone war.
Wait, these drones are like armed?
I probably not.
So basically they're becoming a trade republic is what they're doing.
I almost want to. I feel like there's a documentary.
Roger, Roger, like they go Roger, Roger, like when they lift off.
Oh my god, that would be awesome. You know what would be great is if they'd made the drones look like TIE fighters and they were shooting down. That would be so awesome.
That would be awesome.
If you have a drone and you are anywhere near where they're shooting Star Wars Episode 8, I suggest you don't just accidentally fly it over there because it will be shot down on sight by an Imperial
There
Disney
has
TIE
to be
fighter
one
drone.
prop guy. There has to be one prop guy that has like a little bit too much extra time that just kind of like takes a drone and just makes it like a TIE fighter or an X-wing or something like that.
Well, they already have a Millennium Falcon drone that you can buy. It's a small drone, but still,
Yeah.
I don't care. Just take that one. There's probably those, and they just armed it with photon torpedoes, and they're just
Put laser cannons on it.
Disney spent like $10 billion on drone technology. It's so advanced that like countries are just wish it's better than their armies.
Yeah.
They're like, damn it, we wish we had those Disney drones take over the world. Oh well, Disney is taking over the world one Star Wars movie at a time.
Essentially.
One thing I did want to touch base on just for a second, I was listening to our friends over at the Idiots Array today. They had a new podcast out today. If you guys haven't listened to those guys, they do a great Star Wars podcast where they talk about all things Star Wars. So check them out. Like I said, the Idiots Array. But they were talking about Episode 8, and I was actually thinking about it, and it just kind of got me thinking. I wanted to talk to you about it tonight. So most Star Wars movies, whenever they end, they usually do a time jump, and they end, and they start again a year later, 3 years later. There's a lot of speculation on this Star Wars, Episode 7 to 8, if it would do a time jump, because a lot of us believe that Rey is Luke's daughter. And with the ending, spoiler alert, the ending when she's holding the lightsaber out to Luke, if he really is her father, there's no way they were going to do a year-long time jump and just start there. I mean, there was going to have to be... That was a scene that needed to be answered. And so a lot of us were kind of wondering what was going to happen with the next movie. And the reason why I'm bringing this up now is because last week we talked about how they released the first little teaser footage of Episode 8, and part of that footage is kind of some new shots of that scene where Rey's holding the lightsaber out to Luke. And I just thought it was some footage from Episode 7, but apparently that's Episode 8 footage. So the speculations begin that this is actually going to be the first Star Wars movie that doesn't do a time jump, that it's just going to take place right after. And so, I don't know, I just want to talk about it, what you thought about that, and maybe what our thoughts were of how they could do that and make it cool and still fit into the Star Wars universe.
I think that with this news section of movies, I don't see why they can't do that. I mean, maybe that was something that just happened to work for, the first 6 movies, because they always did time. I mean, look at Anakin. He went from being a little kid to, a 23-year-old, and Padme still say the exact same,
Yeah.
So they could time jump that shit.
Well, and I think you're onto something, that this could be something different than what they've done in the past, and I do think these movies are different. I feel like Episode 8 is really, I mean, I guess they were all continuation stories, but I feel like this is part of I feel like Episode 8 is basically Episode 7.5 in some ways. I feel like it's a direct lead-in from that. There's so much that's unanswered in the last movie. There's so many questions that we have. In Episode 4, in the New Hope, when that that was a kind of a standalone movie. If you would have never seen a second one, we would obviously would have missed out on some great storytelling, but that was its own movie. It could have been its own movie. Maybe you didn't know what happened to Darth Vader, but that's really the only unanswered question in that movie. I mean, it's its own movie. So it made sense when they time jumped to Empire Strikes Back to have these guys. It made a lot of sense to have these guys doing something different. They're a little older, a little more seasoned. This, I don't necessarily think it makes sense to have a big time jump. I think it makes more sense to pick up the movie right after episode 7 because there is so much unanswered. We still have yet to hear Luke say a word in the movie, and there's, what happened with Luke? Me as a fan, I'm going to be disappointed if the movie starts a year after the last one. I want it to start right there, right at that scene where she's got the lightsaber. I want it to say, here's how I think they should do it. The scroll comes, Lucasfilm, Star Wars, a galaxy far, far away, Star Wars, and then episode 8. Luke's got shit to answer for.
Yeah, essentially. And then it cuts to that first scene that they show in that little teaser thing, and then start from there.
Well,
I think that's kind of where they're going to do with it. I mean, it makes sense that episode 8 isn't a time jump. It's just a continuation of the story, and they just keep building on it from there. Yeah. I don't think a lot of movie telling these days do time jumps like they might have back then. It seems like, even Harry Potter, they didn't really have, maybe like months went by or something like that, but not.
It was like the summer, like they got out of school and then you had the summer and then the new school year started. That was kind of their time jumps. Well, and to your point, I think in episode in the first trilogy and in the second trilogy, I think they had a bigger story to tell. Not that this movie doesn't have a big story, but I think we already have the universe set. We know what happened before. We know what happened, in the middle, and now we're continuing a story. We don't need to set the stage anymore. The stage has already been set. So I think the story can, even though it's a grand story, can be a tighter story where they can tell it more linear than I guess they're all linear.
Plus, it'll make it so that when you're watching episode 7, and when you get to the very end, you're gonna have to put in episode 8 and start watching that one because it's gonna. I think that's what they kind of want to make these new series of movies like that. It's gonna be something that when you finish one, you got to start the next because it's just how it ends and then how one connects.
And also, I think they did a good job of showing that Rey, obviously spoiler alert people, that she was already powerful in the Force and that she for whatever reason we haven't figured out yet, she was able to access the Force way faster than Luke was, in his time. And Kylo's already also trained in the Force. So it's not like, in the last movies you kind of needed a time jump because, Anakin was a kid and he didn't know how to use the Force. So the next movie you have to let him, he has to know how to use the Force and at least be partially trained. Same with Luke. Luke was this kind of bright-eyed, bushy-tailed guy who kind of happened to get lucky and blow up the Death Star and had a little bit of, had the ability to slightly listen to the Force.
Sit on a swamp and Dagobah and...
Yeah, and where Luke is halfway through Empire is where Rey already is at the end of episode 7. So I don't think you need this massive time jump to explain, oh look, they've grown stronger. Both these, Rey and Kylo were both already very strong in the Force. So I don't think you need the time jump to explain that. So I do think that this is going to be a direct. I think the Luke Rey story is going to pick up exactly where it left off in episode 7. Yeah. But I think there's a big, from when Starkiller Base explodes until the very last scene, we don't really know how much time has gone on between there. And I think there's still stuff that you can tell. We don't know what happened to Phasm. We don't know what happened to, to all the First Order that evacuated the Starkiller Base. So, you can basically start the crawl where it says, the First Order has been dealt a severe blow. They must regroup. They're regrouping on their home planet of blah, 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 blah.
Let's find out what the fuck Snook is.
Yeah, exactly. Kylo has a lot to answer for, and he resumes his training with, whatever Benicio del Toro's character. And meanwhile, on the planet, whatever the planet was that Rey went to, Luke has a lot of explaining to do. ... And that's
Luke
how it should start.
Speak.
Boom. So anyway, that's just my thoughts. I just wanted to spend a second. It was something that was on my brain, and I wanted to talk to you about it. So, and what's the point of us having our own show if we can't talk about whatever the fuck we want to talk about?
Yeah, I don't know. Right. I think it's going to be good. I can't wait for it.
Yeah, I'm really excited. That said, I really want a trailer for Rogue One. I am right now more excited for Episode 8 than Rogue One. And not that I don't care about Rogue One. I just haven't heard anything about it or seen anything about it. I've seen way more about Episode 8 already than Rogue One. So, Disney, if you're listening, please get us a trailer of Rogue One soon. I really want to start getting excited for that. So, Anyway, thanks everybody. This break in action was brought to you by, yes, you guessed it, Masturbation Unicorn Pillow Pet by Deadpool. All right, back to Ninja News. Speaking of Deadpool, this guy right here, that guy. Did you know that this guy has a $500 million movie?
I did not know that until you literally just told me.
Yeah, not only has this guy right here, Deadpool, the Merc with the Mouth, not only has his movie, all right, I'll put the prop down, not only has this movie crossed $500 million worldwide, it is now the highest grossing X-Men movie domestically of all time.
It cost $500 million worldwide? Or
No,
made?
it's gone over, what did I say? Did I say budget?
You said
whatever.
cost.
Oh, sorry. The movie has made over $500 million international, worldwide. Yeah, the movie's
I only thought it only cost $43 million.
It did, but they've really been doing a lot of production lately, a lot of promotions, and it's
a lot of marketing. That's a lot of marketing.
They have some new deleted scenes they're gonna add in.
Yeah.
No, it has made $500 million internationally. So domestically, I want to say it's a 260, 270, but it is the highest grossing X-Men of all time domestically. It still is yet. I think Days of Future Past crossed 100 or 800 million worldwide, so it still has a little ways to go before it beats that. But it says something that me and Ryan have been saying for a long time, Fox. If
do
you
shit
actually
right, and
you make your shit right, yeah. If you build it, if you make it, people will come and see it, and then come all over their unicorns. With Rainbow.
Well, and with all that extra money that Fox is making, Ryan Reynolds is now going to start negotiating his new deal for Deadpool 2. And I hope they dump a truckload of money on him.
So, funny story, Ryan Reynolds only made $2 million for Deadpool, and Tim Miller, the director, only made $250,000. So Ryan Reynolds basically has come out and said, I'm not going to do the second one without Tim. Tim saying, I'm going to get paid, bitches.
Yeah.
So I am pretty sure that they are going to just blanket those two with money. As well they should.
As they should.
Yeah.
Because
I will.
he only got paid $250,000.
Well, apparently that's not that uncommon. He's a first-time director. This is his first feature film, so I guess it's not that strange, apparently, for a first-time guy. But needless to say, when you knock it out of the park on your first hit like this, you are going to get paid.
Well, you have to, maybe they had, $250,000 and 0.05% of the gross or something.
No, apparently the only person who got any of the gross, the box office, is Ryan Reynolds. He's getting paid on some of that. So apparently he's gonna make around $10 million total, unless it hits $800 million. Apparently there's an escalator clause. If this movie hits $800 million worldwide, that he gets some. I don't know how much, but he's probably rooting. That's probably why he's still out there really hard pushing this movie.
Yeah. He's like, get that 800.
It's like, guys, 300 million more, and Daddy Ryan Reynolds gets paid.
Yeah,
if he was smart, he should just come out and say,
$50 million
guys,
or some shit.
He should be smart. Him and Fox should come out and say, if this movie makes 800 million, we will give Ryan Reynolds the X-Men property. You can do whatever he wants to with all these movies.
We'll give you whatever it costs to make the movie because you essentially have already made us $600 million more dollars.
We will fire Bryan Singer, and we will hire you, Tim Miller, to direct all the X-Men movies. I'd be okay with that. I'm totally on board with that. Hashtag fire Bryan, hire Tim. That's my new hashtag. Anyway, needless to say, we love the movie. If you haven't seen it, we highly recommend you go see it. Deadpool 2 has already been greenlit, and that's going to be coming soon. So I think me and Ryan are going to talk a little bit about Cable at some point, but not today.
Yeah.
Marvel Comics, trying to get on that Deadpool gravy train right now, is announced.
There's just so many Deadpool comics and stuff right now. It's insane.
Deadpool everything. Look, where'd it go? I just got this in the mail.
Yeah.
Deadpool. Shocker. If you've never seen Deadpool, you're about to see a lot of Deadpool on the shelves, the stores, everywhere. He's all over.
Yeah.
But even Marvel Comics, it's their character, and they're still trying to capitalize on his success. They have announced a Deadpool versus Gambit comic book, a limited series run coming out, I believe, in June. So, just in time for the Gambit movie to start shooting. I don't know. I think that comes out later this year. No one cares.
We'll see.
I don't care. It better be as good as Deadpool. It won't.
It won't, but.
Last little bit of Deadpool news is just kind of fun. It's not even really news. I just wanted to mention it. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out. We got it on our Facebook page. But Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool, released a For Your Consideration poster to the Academy Award, basically saying all the reasons why the Academy should consider his movie for for an Oscar. It's pretty funny. It's got all these. It says it's been viewed by 5 Oscar winners, and it's just a bunch of fun stuff. I don't know. Personally, I think Deadpool should host the Oscars. That would be great.
Have you seen the SNL thing that Deadpool made about Ryan Reynolds recorded to try and get Deadpool SNL? Yeah, making fun of Kanye West.
Oh, yeah. If you don't know what we're talking about, head over to our Facebook page. It's on there, and it's freaking hysterical. So, speaking of Marvel news, Iron Fist for Netflix, the Netflix series, has finally been cast.
Woo!
Yay! They have casted the lucky actor who's going to play, I forget his name, play Iron Fist, the man with the dragon tattoo. No affiliation to that weird Swedish book. Is going to be Finn Jones. He's an English actor, most well known for playing Sir Loras Tyrell in Game of Thrones. So, what do you think about that?
I kind of like that just because I think not Loras Tyrell. Finn Jones, I think he has like the look for it. So
he does. I think it looks a lot like Iron Fist. God, it's driving me nuts. I can't remember his name. I think it's Danny something. But he looks a lot like him, and I know there's a lot of people who were kind of hoping that Marvel would cast an Asian actor to play Iron Fist because he's a martial artist. But honestly, I know there's a lot of cases where Hollywood does whitewash characters. This is not one of those cases. Iron Fist is a white character in the comic book. Whether you think that's cool or not, he's a white character who travels over to an Asian country and gets adopted by a mystic, ninja master. And this guy teaches him how to, harness his chi, turn his fist into a super weapon, and he gets a sweet dragon tattoo by a dragon on his chest. Iron Fist.
Oh, and I want to see them introduce that.
Dude, I can't wait. You know what? And we might as well jump into it. I can't wait. What Netflix is doing with their Marvel properties is insane. Netflix just released a new trailer, the first real full-length trailer for Daredevil Season 2. And we both watched it together, and I almost pooed my pants. It's so good.
Getting ready for the show, and we were just listening to each other's reactions, essentially.
Yeah,
and
I was squealing like a girl, and I tingled in my shorts. It was so good.
Yeah, I can't wait. I watched Daredevil. I binge watched all of them. I couldn't wait. And then Jessica Jones came along. I'm still halfway through it. I can just not finish it. I just don't care.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for Daredevil to come back. So, yes, Netflix been fucking nailing it for me.
If you have not seen the trailer, watch the trailer. But I will warn you, you'll immediately want to watch it again and be like, why is this not out yet? I need this to be in my life immediately. Yeah. Elektra, awesome. Yakuza, Punisher, people getting shot, the hand. So excited. And like I said, and now with Iron Fist, we have the Defenders coming soon. You have Iron Fist and Luke Cage. They were the heroes for hire that we might get to see. I love what Netflix is doing. So I'm very excited about that.
We're living in the golden age of nerddom.
Yeah, but anyway, their marketing campaign is starting to pick up a lot. They had some cool posters and some, like I said, the new trailer. So we have them all over our Facebook page. You can head over there and check them out, or you can go ahead, go to Netflix's Facebook or website, and they have all the cool stuff there too. Another thing that me and Ryan are really excited about. So Marvel is getting on board with the Marvel movies. The MCU is getting on board with this whole rated R craze. And in fact, Ant-Man director Peyton Reed has come out and said that, after a lot of talk and the success of Deadpool, Marvel and him have decided that Ant-Man, not Batman, Ant-Man and the Wasp is going to be NC-17. They are raising the stakes. They said, you know what, Deadpool? We take your rated R and we fucking raise you. NC-17, hot love story, Janet Van Dyne, probably not Hank Pym because that'd be really weird. No, wait a minute, Hank Pym?
I think this is a good way to go. And I don't see anything wrong with an NC-17.
No.
I'm sure there's still some mom that is going to petition the White House that, it should be at least rated R.
Well,
so,
what's hilarious is after they announced their, the Ant-Man and the Wasp NC-17 for probably strong sexual situations, let's be honest, people, probably not for violence. James Gunn took to Twitter and basically said, he goes, the rumor is that the Inhumans is going to end up being a snuff film. So, I mean, Marvel is just taking the bar and they're just running with it. So,
yes, I think this is what we wanted from comic book movies, and this is the natural progression that we were going to get.
People want realism. This is what they're going to get. No, if you were not noticing by the tone of me and Ryan's talking here, we are. This is probably a joke. They did not say it's a joke, but it seemed very tongue-in-cheek when they came out with it. So I'm guessing people, calm down.
Yeah, we're not going to get naked Paul Rudd.
Yeah, they have not caught Deadpool-itis. Ant-Man and the Wasp will not be NC-17. I'm sure it'll be PG-13. It'll be a great movie. Yes. But it's kind of fun. It's a fun way of the rest of the, the rest of the biz, the rest of the people making comic book movies acknowledging the success of Deadpool and how much fun it was. So, but what we do have coming soon from Marvel is Civil War, and it looks fan-fucking-tastic.
Yep. There's going to be a lot of squealing going on in the movie theater during that movie.
I've heard some of the early screen testing of people are leaving the theater confused of like who they should have rooted for.
Well, which is what how you're supposed to feel in Civil War, I thought, because it was, either for the registration or against. At least I'm assuming it's the registration thing.
Did you ever read the comic book?
I read the wiki about the Civil War.
Well, the comic book kind of sets up. Well, I guess it doesn't kind of. It mostly sets up Captain America as the good guy and Iron Man as the bad guy. But I can see how this movie would confuse people. If you look at the roster on both sides, it's pretty diverse as far as the characters that you like who are good and inherently good and root, you're going to root for. So I don't know. I'm excited for it. I don't really care. I think it looks awesome. Empire Magazine just released their first issue about Civil War, and they had some pretty cool information in there. One of the things that came out is Gwyneth Paltrow is going to be coming back as Pepper Potts in this movie, so she's yet another Marvel character that you can add to the list of everyday growing list of people showing up in these.
Who's going to be in it next?
I don't even know why they're calling him Captain America 3. Avengers, let's call it Avengers 2.5. Civil War. But they also had the first official look at Crossbones and his Crossbones gear. He looked pretty sweet, so we have it on our Facebook page. Check it out. It's just something fun to get you a little excited for Civil War. Right now, I'm not thinking about Civil War. I'm thinking about Batman v Superman, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. But I am excited for Civil War, as I'm sure everyone else is. A couple quick little news hits we'll hit before our main news story of the night. We actually had a lot of news today.
There's a shitload of news today.
All right, so I will blow. I'm going to blow through all these side stories so we can talk a lot about Batman versus Superman, which is what I want to talk about. Stephen King's It is getting remade, and it's going to be 2 movies, part 1 and part 2. It starts shooting later this year. They're looking for the first part to have a 2017 release with part 2 coming in 2018. It's going to be rated R, and it's going to be scary as shit. And if you hate clowns like I do, you're going to figure out the rest of the world is going to realize why my generation, me and Ryan's generation, grew up hating clowns.
Not going to watch it.
Yeah, I probably won't. I will, but I probably won't. Pacific Rim 2 is finally officially happening.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! Me and Ryan have talked at length on the show about how much we love Pacific Rim, and we're glad that it's going to happen. But a little bit of a change. I'm not going to say snag, because I'm actually kind of excited for this new direction. Guillermo del Toro.
Mm-hmm.
He is stepping down as the director. That's partly why this is finally getting going. That man is so busy. I don't think I've ever known a director to have more attached projects than that guy. But he's stepping down, and Stephen DeKnight is stepping in. If you don't know who that is, he's the guy who brought us Spartacus on Starz and most recently Daredevil Season 1 on Netflix. So he's been a series showrunner. He's a writer. He's kind of basically directed these series along their path. So he has not directed individual episodes yet, but I do think he's got more than enough, chops to do this, and I'm pretty excited because both those properties were awesome. So
yeah, but Pacific Rim 2 will be fun, and that's all I want.
Well, and he's a long time
punching the shit out of giant monsters.
Well, he's a longtime collaborator of Sam Raimi, so I mean, it's not like he doesn't know the people, and I don't think that Legendary Pictures would have given him this decent-sized property if they didn't believe in him. So this is going to be his first major motion picture, and I think this could be a Deadpool situation where you have a first-time director who kind of knocks it out of the park. So I am very excited for Pacific Rim 2. No idea when it's going to start shooting or release, but I'm guessing now that they actually have a director who's moving forward, it'll probably start pretty soon. So X-Files creator Chris Carter is now out there petitioning and telling everybody that Fox wants more X-Files. So if you were like me and one of the people who watched the 6 episodes and at the very end of it were shaking your fist with rage saying, I must have more, you were in luck. It sounds like everybody wants to do them. It doesn't matter. They're saying it's a matter of time when it's going to get done because all the actors are very busy. But hopefully we'll get some next season. Hopefully it's more than 6 episodes. So I believe we had a viewer question that wanted to know about that. So we'll talk more about that later in the show. The Rock has officially started shooting Baywatch.
I think that's all we need to know.
Yeah. If you want to know more about that, he's tweeting out pictures daily of the cast. So, I don't know. He's playing David Hasselhoff's character. Who gives a crap? Apparently, Pamela Anderson is in talks to reprise, not her. Well, I don't know if it's her role or just a cameo, but she's probably going to be in the movie.
Like wrinkly and gross now.
Yeah, I doubt she's going to be starring. It'll be some old blonde lady needs to be saved.
She'll be wearing like a muumuu.
But you know what'd be pretty funny is if she's just wearing her old like unitard red bathing suit, and people are like, "What are you doing? Go put some pants on."
Yeah.
Nobody wears that anymore. What do you think? It's 1995.
Get out of here, old lady.
Speaking of 1995 stars that were famous, Jean-Claude Van Damme is coming back, people. He is starring in an original Amazon pilot titled Jean-Claude Van Johnson, where he will play a parody version of himself as a washed-up action star trying to make a new hit series. It's very meta. It sounds so crazy, I might actually watch it. But it's going to Amazon Pilot. Anybody's not familiar with how Amazon does their pilots, basically they shoot about 10, 12 pilots. They put them up, and then you vote on them. You put stars, which ones you like, which ones you don't. The ones that get the most likes and stars actually get turned into a series. So it's kind of a cool way to do it.
Interesting.
So I don't know when that's going to be out, probably for their next, whenever Amazon does their pilot season, but I'm sure that'll be part of it. So keep your eye out. Taken, we talked about Taken being turned into a TV show, I believe for NBC on the show a few weeks back. Well, they have cast their Brian Mills, their bone-crunching, take-no-prisoner superhero, and they are going to cast Rollo from Vikings.
That doesn't sound good for the current season of Vikings.
Yeah, well, if you're watching Vikings, I think it's only a matter of time before Rollo meets a bad end. That traitor.
Rollo is, I shook an angry fist at Rollo.
Did you watch the first episode?
Yeah, that motherfucker.
Dude, the best part of that episode is when Ragnar wakes up and he's like, and who thought it was a good idea to leave my brother in France?
Yeah. He's my uncle.
He's like, he's my brother, you idiots. He's a traitor.
Like, I know him.
You got to keep him close. So anyway, I don't know what his name is. Clive Standen, whatever. You shall forever be known as Rollo, the traitorous Viking. That dude jumps sides faster than anybody I've ever seen in my life. But he's a badass with an axe.
He's a big dude. He's a huge dude.
Tell you one thing, if you're fighting a battle, you want him on your side with that giant battle axe swinging at people.
Yeah, no shit.
Anyway, Sarah Michelle Gellar has confirmed that she will indeed be reprising her role as whatever her, skankopotamus one, devious woman in Cruel Intentions, the TV show. So we talked about it like last week. I think that CBS was trying to get her for the pilot. So apparently she's coming back. No word on how much of a part of the show she's going to be, whether she's going to be the pilot or more.
She'll be the mother of the next person.
I think she should be the cocaine dealer who's like supplying the next generation with cocaine.
Yeah.
She was a mess in that. I don't care. I like Buffy.
Around.
I like Buffy. She's cool. She's cool with me. Another person who's cool with me is Michael B. Jordan. He's awesome. I don't know if he's awesome as Johnny Storm. Apparently not, because that movie sucked. But
I heard he rocked it in
Creed. I really want to see Creed. But apparently he's going to be rocking it in the Thomas Crown affair. They're doing another remake, which is funny because I want to say the Pierce Brosnan version was a remake of. I don't know who the old actor who played him was, but I don't know. I think it was Steve McQueen. It was Steve McQueen who did the original Thomas Crown affair. But anyway, they got a new version coming with Michael B. Jordan. That's all we know. Whatever, he's cool. Facebook, if you have not noticed, Facebook has updated their ability to like things. So now when you hold down the thumbs up button, you can also get an angry face or a smiley face or a happy face, which is great, except for, hey, Facebook, all we really wanted was to have this and to have this right here.
Yeah, or one of these.
Or a middle finger. That'd been cool too. Basically, we just want to tell you whether we like what you're saying or we don't like what you're saying. We don't need to do an angry face or a poo emoji or a smiling, crying, laughing emoji.
Oh, I've been
Thumbs up?
doing a lot of poo emojis on
Thumbs
people.
down. So, whatever. But hey, if you haven't noticed that, go to your Facebook page and hopefully go to the Geek Dad Report and hit the like button a whole bunch of times. And share. Also share.
Yeah, give us a whole bunch of poo emojis.
Yeah, or give Ryan a bunch of poo emojis. Give me a bunch of thumbs up emojis. Halo 5 is getting Firefight. If you play Halo, you know what that means, and you know it's awesome. So we'll just
I have no idea. Is there a quick version?
Firefight is basically a version where you and your friends just battle wave after wave of bad guys, and it's a lot of fun.
That sounds cool.
It's cool because it's a team thing, and it's not just getting killed by 12-year-old girls. It's actually playing with your friends, and at the end of the night, you can actually have a pretty good time. So I'm a big fan of Firefight, so I'm excited that it's coming to Halo 5. So no update when that's coming. They said it's coming soon, so look for an update probably in the next month or so. And if you want to play with me, Jedi Killer 153 on Xbox Live. Apple, if you love Siri, like I kind of do sometimes, Siri is going to be added to the new MacBooks and iMacs on their next OS X update. So I believe it's September is when the next version is coming out. So you can look forward to Siri being part of your computer experience now as well as your phone and tablet. Hopefully she works better on those. Actually, Siri's gotten better recently.
Yeah, I still have some issues with Siri. So.
Yeah, I do too when I do my voice to text.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. Apple's also apparently going to be getting rid of their iPad Airs, which I have right here. They just recently last year released their iPad Pro, which was their 12-inch tablet. It's actually pretty sweet, but apparently their iPad Airs aren't really getting the axe. They're just turning into the iPad Pros. So the iPad Pro 9.7-inch tablet is rumored to be coming out this March when they have their event. Hopefully they'll also be announcing their new MacBooks so me and Ryan can upgrade the show.
Yes.
We're waiting. Fingers crossed.
We both get new MacBooks.
Both getting new MacBooks, and your experience, viewers, are going to be way more awesomer, which is, I know that doesn't seem possible, but it's going to be possible. Your minds are going to explode. It's going to be amazing. But that's coming out in March, so they'll make it official. As always, Apple doesn't release anything until their event, so take this with a grain of salt, but it sounds like this is what's going to be happening in their March with their iPad. So Spike TV has ordered a pilot for the Stephen King version. They're doing a TV version of The Mist, which was a fucked up story, and I ain't watching the show.
Oh, man, yeah. I'm trying to remember.
That was the one that had Thomas Jane, and like the monsters came out of the mist.
Oh, yeah.
And it had the worst ending ever in a movie. Oh,
yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, I'm not watching that show. That shit was scary as hell. I'll watch it as long as the ending's different. Stupid ending. Fox has renewed Bones for the 12th and final season. So if you're a big Bones fan, you get one more season.
Man,
enjoy.
Bones has been on for that long.
Yeah, I know. It's been on for a long time. I don't know. I think I've watched like 1 or 2 episodes. It seems fun, but
I've seen 1 episode.
You can only have so many. You can have only so many cop procedurals in your life, and right now I added Lucifer as my new cop procedural. So
yeah, we got Blue Bloods.
Yeah, see. My wife likes Blue Bloods. I like Lucifer. We watch it together. Imagine that. Last little bit, a couple things we got for you guys. Netflix, if you're into anime, Netflix is going to be producing an original anime series called Perfect Bones. So, whatever.
Perfect Bone.
Perfect Bones. I'm sure it's going to be
what she said.
Full of action. Yeah, I know. What a perfect name for an anime.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're sponsored by the Unicorn Masturbation Pillow Pet.
Probably.
From Deadpool.
Or buy a bunch of them.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure they did. We'll have to ask Chris what he thinks about the new anime series from Netflix. He's a big anime fan. Penny Dreadful, the Showtime show, season 3 is coming in May, and they have a new trailer out. It looks scary as shit. I watched the show. It's so dark and gothic. I don't know why I like it, because it scares me, but I do like it. It's very good.
I keep wanting to try it, but I never watch it.
It's very dark. It's very good. I would watch it. Ronda Rousey, who wants to play Captain Marvel, now also wants to play Samus. Was it Samus from Metroid? I don't know.
She just wants to play whatever's going to make her a shitload of money.
She wants to get out of UFC because she got the shit knocked out of her, and now she's like, shit, I better do something else in my career before I'm out.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't care.
She loses. She goes into her next fight and loses again. No one's going to give a shit about her.
All I know is she got beat by Michelle Rodriguez in the last Fast and Furious movie, so I don't know. I don't know how good she is. Peach Dragon would definitely...
Fucking Peach Dragon.
Would definitely destroy Ronda Rousey. The new live-action movie is coming out this summer, apparently. And they have a trailer out for it. That's more of a teaser because it doesn't really show anything.
I thought it was just a poster that they had out.
No, they actually released a... Well, we put it on our Facebook page, Ryan.
Well, I somehow missed it, Brian.
Well, then you're making me a liar because I said, we think the new trailer looks great. How about you? Way to go. God, you're letting me down, Ryan.
Maybe I just thought it was a movie poster and I didn't click on it or some shit. But man, I love Pete's Dragon when I was a kid. That was one of my favorite. I watched that thing so many times on my VHS.
You know what's funny is I did too, but I don't really remember the movie. I watched it so many times when I was a kid. I can't really remember the movie. I need to watch it again. I think I'm gonna watch it with my kids.
It was he had
Well, I know it was the animated dragon. It was like animated in live action, right?
yeah. And then they like catch him at the very end, but he's like on the net and shit like that. And
yeah, I gotta watch it. Like I said, my kids have been kind of asking about it because they're seeing the trailers popping up now. So good opportunity. Maybe that'll be a Geek Dad moment of the week. I'll talk about watching Pete's Dragon, the original, with my children. So that pretty much wraps up all our normal news. We have some pretty awesome DC news. We were going to have a special guest tonight, maybe, who's a giant DC nerd like myself. And so I added a bunch of stuff at the end so me and Chris could rant about it. So, Chris, if you're listening, you're still welcome to come on. We're going to have a very special DC nerd out episode before the Batman vs. Superman comes out. So
we're not going to call you by your chosen name until you come on the show. So, Chris, this is what you get.
Christopher
Reed.
Christopher Robbins Reed, you will be on our show now. But yeah, we were hopeful he was going to come on, but he had some scheduling issues and was not able to pop on. So hopefully we'll get him on in the next few weeks, like I said, before Batman v Superman comes out. But when he does, we will full nerd out and talk about everything DC Comics and about Batman, Superman, Justice League, all the cool stuff. But that being said, we still do have some cool DC news, and I'm a super DC nerd, so me and Ryan will talk about it a little bit.
And I will bounce questions off you because I know whatever I've learned in Wikipedia in the last 2 years. So
there is that. Well, the first little bit of news is Regal Cinemas just today has come out and said that they're offering the ultimate fan-going movie ticket for Batman v Superman. So apparently for $100, you can buy a movie ticket, the golden ticket that will allow you access once per day to go see Batman v Superman as many times as you want to until it's out of theaters.
Who has that much time?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe if I was younger.
I mean, you gotta see at least 10 times, and you made your money back.
10.
That's a shitload.
Movie tickets are like $18 now. You gotta go see it 3 times. You made your money back. It's not. You know what? If I was 18 or if I was in college and I had a little more free time, I'd probably buy it and just go because I'd probably see. I want to see this at least 3 times in the theater. But if I were 20 again, I'd probably see it 5 or 6. I mean, I am so geeked out for Batman versus Superman. I mean, this is, for me, it goes like Star Wars, Batman v Superman. I mean, I'm right. That's my level of excitement. I'm right there. But it's a cool deal. You can go up to regalcinemas.com and check out. They have all the offers there. I don't know if they're going to be selling it at like the box office, but
does it at least come with like a popcorn or something?
Probably not. I hope it comes with at least a really cool ticket.
Yeah.
Probably some weird wristband you got to get, like a Jimmy Olsen Superman wristband. Beeps when you walk in. It just says like nerd, nerd, nerd when you walk in.
Yeah, essentially.
But no, honestly, I think it's a cool idea. I'm surprised more people haven't thought of this. I'm surprised they didn't do something like this for Star Wars because I'm pretty sure. Actually, Star Wars would have probably lost money on this. That's probably why they didn't do it.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I'm surprised, man.
Like I said, over to regalcinemas.com and you can check out that offer if that's something that interests you. And if you do, let us know if you do it. I want to see what the ticket looks like. So some kind of big news of the week that ruffled a lot of feathers. Actually, I'm going to have a little tiny rant about here in a few minutes. Batman v Superman has announced that their Blu-ray edition, they are going to have a version of the Blu-ray that is rated R. So we are going to get a Batman versus Superman Dawn of Justice rated R cut.
So what do you think that will be the difference between what we're going to see in the theater and what the rated R cut? I mean, they're probably not going to say shit and fuck and all that kind of stuff.
I do think there's going to be a little more bad language in it because I do think this Batman swears. In the trailer, you see you see Bruce Wayne say, "Oh," and then they kind of cut away. So I'm fairly certain that Batman is going to say some bad words in this movie. Now, I don't think he's going to be dropping F-bombs left and right. Even in the director's cut, I just don't think. I think Zack Snyder knows the character enough to know that he's not. He swears, but he's not. He's not. F this, F that. I'm going to F and kill this effing guy. But what I think. So supposedly the ratings board has said they rated it R for violence, and my guess is that this is based on the the Dark Knight Returns comic book by Frank Miller, this whole storyline, and that is a very violent comic book. I mean, that is kind of it's not a hard rated R like Deadpool, but it's definitely it's definitely kind of a soft rated R comic book.
It's not something you really want kids to read.
Exactly.
I mean, because they're Batman's like doing some. He's taking it to Superman.
The Joker psychotically kills people. I mean, there's blood and there's a lot of death and there's a lot of violence in it, and it's a very dark, gritty comic book.
What are they called? The mutants that are in Gotham and.
Well, I think the mutants. I'm trying to remember. I think the mutants was the second Dark Knight Returns comic book that came out, but the original one that this is based on it still was very violent. I mean, it was a very violent comic book, and I think like he did. There's some rumor that he's giving it the Watchmen treatment, and what that basically means is, the Watchmen director's cut was the comic book completely lifted and stuck into a movie. Everything was exactly panel for panel like it was in the comic book, and fans of that thought it was great, and it is great. It's a great cut. If you've never seen Watchmen or the director's cut, I highly recommend you watch it. But with that being said, I think this is going to be a direct take from the comic book. Obviously, the story is a little bit different, but I think the violence, the gritty, the feel of The Dark Knight Returns is the way this director's cut's going to be. I think it's going to be longer. The movie's already rumored to be, well, it's not rumored. The final, it actually got an official, I think it's 2 hours and 35 minutes, so it's a long movie already.
Yeah.
So my guess is it's probably going to have another 10 or 15 minutes of footage, maybe longer. I did hear rumors that there was a 3-hour cut of this movie originally, so maybe we'll get a 3-hour cut, which, as a huge fan of the property, I'm super excited for. So my guess is that they're not going to, my guess is they took out a few bad language, some bad language, a few, choice shits, and maybe an F-bomb or two in there at some point. And I just think, even judging from the last trailer, this Batman is a very brutal fighter. I mean, he is your neck might break, I'm going to not kill you, but you may never walk again either. So, I think there's situations where you could see. He's at the point
where he just doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, I think there's things where you could see Batman kick legs that break in, very Steven Seagal style. I don't know if bones are going to be popping out, but, the ratings board might have deemed that too violent for a PG-13 movie. So, I'll get into my rant in a second, but I think the biggest deal is I don't think it's going to be excessively violent. I don't think it's going to change the character, but I think it's going to be what we're used to from the comic book. I think you're going to get that unedited, grit and real world violence that Batman lives in. So I'm very excited about it. So and if you're not excited about it, whatever. I'm sure they'll have two different versions.
Yeah, if you're not excited about it, watch the PG-13 version.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a great idea to do it. A rated R version is for people that want the extra stuff that kind of has more of what we would expect from a comic book, and. We'll pay for that version. You pay for your version. I don't see what's wrong with that.
Yeah, well, whatever. Fuck it. I'll just dive into it a little bit. I mean, we're already running a little bit long, so I'll just knock it out now. It's not even so much of a rant. It's just telling the people to chill the fuck out, people. You know what? I understand. So as soon as a little backstory, as soon as this was released, the news came out that Batman vs Superman was gonna have a rated R cut. A lot of people lost their shit. People were saying, "Oh, Superman's not a rated R character. How dare you alter the characters in a way that's going to ruin them. Oh, this is just a cheap ripoff of trying to copy Deadpool's success. Oh, see, look, Hollywood definitely hasn't gotten the idea. They took all the wrong things from Deadpool." Everyone needs to chill out. First of all, I don't understand why there's been so much hate of Batman v Superman. This is before they announced that the rated R version. This is before they showed Doomsday in the trailer. This is before all the stuff. For some reason, there's a section of people that believe that if you love Marvel or you love something else, that you can't love Batman versus Superman. I understand that some people did not like Man of Steel. It was a different take on Superman. It was a darker take. It was a grittier take. And yes, there was a lot of destruction and there was a lot of things that were not characteristic of some versions of Superman. But what everyone needs to understand, and what they need to take a chill pill, take a step back and relax, is just because the version of Superman and Batman that you love does not mean that is the version that everybody else loves. If you've ever read a comic book, if you've ever picked up anything that says DC on it, one thing you'll understand is that DC has multiple versions of their heroes. They are constantly changing them. I mean, sometimes they're grittier, sometimes they're more violent, sometimes they're campy. Superman has gone from transitions from being the ultimate good guy to, having a Jerry curl, to being a darker, to being younger, to being a new 52 version. I mean, these characters change all the time, and there's so many different versions of them. This version of Batman v Superman is the Frank Miller version. It is a darker version. It is a grittier version. It is an older version. Okay, and just because it's different doesn't give everyone the right to lose their shit and say, this isn't the person we know and love. You know what, everybody? Calm down. If you love the property, awesome. If you don't love it, you don't have to love it. But to say that someone's ruined it and tell everybody else that it's garbage before you've even seen it, you don't know what you're talking about. The idea of a rated R director's cut, it's a director's cut. They're not ruining it. I'm glad they're not releasing a rated R version in the theaters, because as a fan, I want this movie to make $1 billion. And a rated R version of Batman vs. Superman would not make $1 billion. But I think it's great for fans of the graphic novel that we want to see the darker version. I'm excited for it. And you should be too. Comic book movies have to evolve, and they have to change, and they have to be different. We can't just see Iron Man over and over and over. There's a reason why Captain America now has Civil War in it, and the heroes are fighting each other. Because you can't just keep fighting the same bad guys over and over, and people say, oh, I want to see this again and again. They don't. Things have to evolve, and they have to change. You know what? If you don't like this version of Superman and Batman, guess what? In 10 years, you're going to see a new version of Superman and Batman. If you like your Superman to be good and wholesome and never cause any mass destruction, then good. Go watch Superman Returns or Superman 1, 2, 3, and 4. The movies that you love were already made for you, and you can go watch them anytime. This is a new movie for other people who love other things about Superman. I love the Christopher Reeves version of Superman. I love Superman Returns. And I loved Man of Steel. I love every iteration because I love the characters. I don't love each version. I love the characters. So before you start bitching and complaining and saying that, Justice League is going to be garbage and this Batman v Superman is going to be absolute crap, take a step back and realize that without change, things go away. And things have to change. And if you like movies taking chances, if you like seeing different versions of the heroes and characters that you love, then you should support every comic movie that comes out. Even if you don't love it or it's not your favorite, support it, because we live in a golden age. Ryan knows what I'm talking about. We grew up with bad superhero movies, and we are getting fantastic superhero movies.
Lots of more superhero movies than you could throw a fucking stick at this point. So.
Yeah. So quit wasting your breath complaining and just be happy that you have them. We had to watch Elektra and Daredevil and Fantastic Four both
Ghost
times.
Rider.
Ghost Rider. I mean, I remember watching Super Spider-Man on TV in the 70s where he was climbing up the wall and they just turned the camera. I grew up on Batman, the 1960s show. I mean, we did not have superheroes. We were living in a golden age, and I think people forget what we used to have and how awesome it is to live in this time. Marvel,
it was so bad that as I was a jock in high school, and I loved all that stuff, but I just never really talked to people about it because nobody gave a shit, when I was in high school.
We had to hide. We were nerds. If you said, I love Batman, Superman, who do you think would win a fight? People were like, nerds. I was a linebacker and people still called me a nerd. It's great to live in a day and age that we aren't just pop culture. We are the culture. Nerd culture is what is culture right now, and it's great. You know what? I'm not telling what you guys should or shouldn't love. If you think Batman v Superman is going to be terrible, then don't go see it. All I'm saying is this.
Don't go see it and just shut up until you do see it to actually have an opinion about it.
Just stop complaining about trailers and teasers and everything. I mean, the original Iron Man trailer gave away the entire movie of Iron Man. Civil War has shown more of the movie than even I believe Batman v Superman has. Yes, you have to promote, and as the Batman versus Superman marketing department done a great job? Not really. But you know what? Let's just embrace it, enjoy it, and stop poo-pooing on fans of different properties. You can be a fan of both. So I want everybody to say it with me. I love Marvel, and it's okay. I also love DC.
Yes.
So
I love
anyway.
Marvel, and it's also okay to love DC.
That's just
That's
my
a
little
good way of
rant.
saying it.
I'm just tired of all the DC on Marvel hate that's going on right. Well, Marvel on DC hate right now. I just don't get it.
Well, Marvel has been the king of the crop for a while, especially when it comes to the movies, and TV shows, but there's a lot of DC characters coming, catching up fast. I mean,
Well, I mean,
not to be a pun, but The Flash is becoming one of the biggest comic book shows, on TV right now.
yeah, I mean, its ratings are starting to compete with like the big time shows. The Flash is huge, and if you're not watching Flash, you should. It's a great show, but
God, that
it's
fucking last episode.
I mean, and if anything, we should be applauding DC. You know what? Marvel took their time because no one ever did what Marvel had done. They never had, there was no idea of an Avengers, a shared universe. So they slowly built it. Well, guess what? Now we know what a shared universe looks like. DC's like, fuck it. We're throwing out the Justice League people. We're putting Batman and Superman together, and we're just going for it. I love it. I love it. They're just
And Wonder Woman.
and Wonder Woman. Hey, anybody who wants to hate on DC, all you Marvel fans, and I myself included, I'm not going to use a derogatory term of Marvel zombies that I've heard a lot of people, use in the past. But I will say this. Before you're so quick to judge DC, think about this. DC is going to have the first female superhero movie out way before Marvel. Marvel's still trying to get Mrs. Marvel out, Captain Marvel out. DC has Wonder Woman coming next year. We are going to finally get Wonder Woman. And I am so excited. My daughters are so excited. I am over the moon excited for what DC's got coming. Suicide Squad looks great. Batman v Superman is going to be amazing. It is going to be amazing. I don't care what anybody says. It is going to be epic. Wonder Woman's going to be great. We're getting a Shazam movie with The Rock as Black Adam. We're getting a Green Lantern Corps. Not Green Lantern. We're getting Hal Jordan. We're getting, Kyle Ratner. We're getting the other guy. I can't remember his name. I'm so excited.
Brian's gonna implode.
I'm gonna implode. We're getting another Flash movie. We are getting so much good stuff that we're getting an Aquaman movie, people. Aquaman. Hey, where's Namor from Marvel?
Why he can be
He's
a badass.
he's just like hanging out, doing nothing. But I am just, I don't know. I am very excited as you can tell, for DC. It's big things, and as a comic book fan, we should all just be embracing, hugging, and so excited that we are living in this golden age of comic book movies. So anyway, that's my rant. Moving on to the last little bit of Justice League news we actually had. Justice League. Speaking of Justice League, it's going to start shooting April 11th. This is big news because a lot of the people that I was talking about who were trying to poo-poo on DC, what they're doing, basically said that the Warner Brothers was really worried that people weren't going to like Batman v Superman. They may push Justice League, back till next year or the year after, because they may try and greenlight and fast track a Batman solo movie faster to try and salvage the whole thing. I think that's an utter garbage report, and I don't know. Obviously it is, because they're starting to shoot the movie next month. Well, 2 months, so I'm very excited. And lastly, we won't spend too much time because we went a little bit longer on the rant than I anticipated. But Zack Snyder tweeted out the first picture of maybe the Justice League reveal. Him and Jason Momoa took a fun picture on I wouldn't say the set of Justice League, but kind of the workshop. It looks like they're creating all the costumes and everything. Those two were hanging out, I'm guessing probably fitting, sizing, doing some stuff for getting the prep work for the movie. And they took a picture and posted it. Well, I don't know if he did it on purpose or accidental, but in the background, you can see the Flash costume. You can see Aquaman's costume. You can see new Wonder Woman armor. You can see what looks like possibly a Nightwing costume, a Cyborg costume. So we posted the picture.
Look in the reflection of a mirror,
yeah,
of a window, and you can see a costume.
Me and Chris were geeking out so hard we were just diving into that picture, trying to find every detail we could scope out. So we threw the picture up on our Facebook page. Check it out. Let us know if you see any hidden gems that maybe we missed. But like I said, we are very, very, very excited for Batman v Superman, and I'm pretty sure that I'm going to see it early. So there would definitely be some.
Oh yeah, we'll see it early.
There will be there will be some.
Yeah, there will be reviews.
Oh yeah. There will be a lot of reviews. The hard part's going to be like trying to not like spoil anything and trying to contain my excitement. Or I guess
you might have to put like a one of those beeping tones, like whenever you start to get out of control, so that people can't hear you.
Oh man,
Well, speaking of reviews, should we start with do our comics you crave for this week, Brian?
Sorry, I was looking at it was driving me nuts. I forgot the last Green Lantern, and I was like, come on, I know his name. John Stewart, the other Green Lantern. I'm very excited about him.
John Stewart, the comedian?
Yes, John Stewart, the comedian from The Daily Show, is going to be a Green Lantern. It's breaking news. You heard it first here, people, on the Geek Dad Report. Anyway, what were we talking about? Is it Comics Crave? All right. Hang on, let me got. All right, guys, on this week on Comics You Crave, Ryan, what comic did we review? Why don't you let the people know?
Well, we got, I can show it on my screen.
Oh, wow.
Army of Darkness.
Man.
How
dare you? You stole my bit, you son of a beep.
You know what? Fine, and I'll just do the talk. So we have from Dynamite Comics. It comes out March 3rd, which is next week. So we're kind of giving you guys an early preview here.
I am too, Ryan, you jerk.
We're gonna give you guys a week to get this ordered at your comic book shop, or go to Watch Play Read, and we'll put up a link for you to get it ordered right to your house instead.
Yeah.
This is Army of Darkness, Furious Road. It's coming from Dynamite Comics. It's written by Nancy Collins, illustrated by Kieber Ball, and the colors are by Shrimmer's Bow.
Oh, nice.
A lot of bows.
Nice.
So,
I'm sure he's going to be very impressed with your speaking of his name.
You know what? I would really love
her.
for him to send me the phonetic of how to say his name or her name. I don't know.
If you'd like to be a guest on our show and talk about your wonderful comic and tell us how you properly say your name, we are more than down for that.
So, my first impressions, I actually really liked the artwork in this comic, and I really liked the colors that they used in it. The lettering is really clear, and it comes out, really nicely. It's really a quick read.
Yeah.
I was kind of expecting more meat to it, I guess, a little bit.
Is this going to be an ongoing? Is this going to be an ongoing comic? I was trying to look, and I saw Volume 1, Issue 1, so I'm guessing it's going to be an ongoing, which makes sense for the way that this was laid out.
Ryan, it's going to be an ongoing. This is just the first issue.
Well, I think what you're talking about is the pages were there were a lot of single page splashes. So like one page took up one scene, so you could really blow through the comic book because it was a very action packed scene. Every scene was just a really, like I said, action-packed scene, and it took up an entire page, so it was a quick read in that aspect. But to give people a little overview of the comic book, basically, it starts out, it's kind of funny. If you did not know this was an Evil Dead comic, you wouldn't, if it didn't say on the title, you wouldn't even know it's an Evil Dead comic till about 3/4 of the way through it. So it takes place 25 years from now in Detroit. It looks like Deadites have taken over the entire world, or at least Detroit. And it's kind of a mishmash. It's definitely a play on the new Mad Max Fury Road movie.
Yeah.
It's not a direct rip of the movie, but there's definitely, you can tell it was inspired by the movie. And I'm guessing even the title, Furious Road, is kind of a play on the Mad Max Fury Road movie.
I think there's enough tongue in cheek about Furious Road or Fury Road, I mean. So.
Well, and I don't want anybody to think this is not a rip-off comic book. They definitely do their own thing, but like Ryan said, it's a tongue-in-cheek. It's more of like a kind of an ode to, a nod to the Fury Road movie in a good way. It starts out with a group of, I don't know, I wouldn't call them misfits, but there's monsters like a Frankenstein, kind of a werewolf guy, a ninja, a nun.
A nun and a priest guy.
There's a very interesting cast of characters. They're in cars. They're driving down these deserted streets with Deadites chasing them in cars, laughing hysterically. It's really kind of, I mean, it's very strange, but it's a lot of fun. It reminds me a lot of The Evil Dead in that aspect, where it's a fun read. Anyway, the first, I don't know, probably half of the comic book is one scene of them, of Deadites chasing them and them defending, shooting all these Deadites in the cars and kind of a car chase and stuff. And And like I said, 3/4 of the way they end up in front of an S Mart, and then you realize, oh yeah, this is a Evil Dead comic book.
Then once they get to the S Mart, then you're like, oh yeah, here comes Ash. You know,
Oh, yeah, and
that's when you know the fun stuff is about to ready to kick in,
Yeah,
and it does kick in from that point. I mean, and it does kind of stick to the horror roots. Of there's a lot of ample amount of blood.
Oh yeah.
And gore and all that kind of stuff, and especially when Ash, he got the chainsaw hand, and goes right through.
And Ash is Ash. He is just 25 years from now. It's still the good old Ash that we all know and love. The cool thing I liked about this comic is it is a continuation. I haven't read any of Dynamite's other Ash or Evil Dead series, but it is a continuation. There's a couple little comic notes in there that says, hey, this happened in previous issues. So there is sometimes, if you're a fan of the series, this is definitely one that you're going to, it fits right in with everything else. But another thing I did like about it, it also kind of fits in with the movies and the new Stars show that I just finished watching the first season. This could easily have taken place after that as well. So it fits right into that universe, and it's a very much an Evil Dead Ash. I really enjoyed it a lot. Like you said, there wasn't a lot of story. It was a really fast read. Basically, they're in a car, they're killing deadites, and then they're at S-Mart and they meet Ash, and that's the end of the comic. So it's not a ton of story.
And they want the book.
And they want the Necronomicon. I wouldn't even call it a knock because it's a good setup issue for what's going forward. It's not a knock. There's not a lot of story, but it's always nice to get just a little bit more story. But as a guy who likes a lot of visual storytelling, I did appreciate the large, full page splashes where they told a lot of story and had a lot of detail and stuff like that. So I really enjoyed this comic book a lot. I really liked it. I'm a big fan of Ash versus Evil Dead and the Evil Dead in general. So for me, I would say get this. I was a big fan of it, and I would recommend checking out was it Evil Dead Furious Road?
Army of Darkness.
Army of Darkness, Furious Road.
And I agree with you, Brian. I've always been a fan of Army of Darkness and the Evil Dead stuff, and it's one of the few horror kind of things that I get into just because of the comedy aspects of it and kind of the over the top, stuff that happens in it, and some of that does happen in this comic too. And if you're a fan of those kind of the series, then this is definitely something that we have to pick up. And I will be reading issue 2 just because
it's a fun comic.
You read it with a grin on your face.
Yeah, it's very tongue in cheek.
And other than Deadpool, there's not a lot of comics that make me do that.
Yeah,
so
it was a fun comic book. In some ways, Ryan, that's actually a good comparison. It reminded me a little bit of a Deadpool comic. So
yeah,
it was a lot of fun. Like I said, Army of Darkness, Furious Road comes out. What are you saying, next week?
Next week, March 3rd.
Next week, you can pick it up from Dynamite Comics for $3.99, and me and Ryan both say buy this comic.
Yep, get it.
Thumbs up.
Just good.
Since we're already doing it, thumbs up. Screw it. Buy this comic. We recommend it. So there's that. All right, moving on. From the Faithful 50. Tonight, we had some fun questions that we will answer. We even had a new member, official member of the Faithful 50 that I'm really excited about.
Yes. I would say this is probably his first actual question. So.
Well, this is his first interaction with us on the Geek Dad Report. I know he's actually been commenting a lot on our Facebook page, but this is the first time he's actually asked a question for the show. So we are very excited about a new member of the Faithful 50, and he's even from a different state than Utah and Washington.
Yes.
So let me see here. Let me find our... Do you have it up, or... I'm pulling it up right now, I guess. Sorry, people.
It's all right. I have it pulled up. If you want to do the first one.
All right, well, then you can...
Good old Phil. He wants to know, is Fox really going to cock tease us? What's the X-Files? Hashtag GDR Faithful 50. Yeah. Brian, what do you think?
So, we talked a little bit about it earlier about the X-Files. So, spoiler alert, not to ruin too much, but the X-Files was 6 episodes. This revival season was 6 episodes, and they kept telling us that this might be all we get, but then they ended it on a complete cliffhanger. It just ends. And you're like, what? What is going on? So, a lot of us were shaking our fists in furious rage. Unfortunately, I love the X-Files, and I really enjoyed these 6 episodes, but they weren't really that good, honestly. You could tell that they didn't have a cohesive story through this. If you're going to do a 6-episode season, you have to have a very tight story that goes through all 6 episodes. And other than the 2 episodes that bookend, that tie in together, everything else was just these random episodes that they kind of just threw out there. it was a lot of fun, but as far as on a storytelling front, it really wasn't that great. And they really forced the story at the very end. So most of the last episode, you were kind of confused. And then when they finally got to the good stuff, it just ended. So, no, Phil, I do not think they're going to cock tease this. I really do think that they only did this because they got confirmation that they're going to be doing more. So, I can't imagine that they would have left it this open ending, hoping that they were going to get more. But all the episodes were highly rated, or the ratings were super high. And even though a lot of people thought these aren't great, everybody loved them anyway. So everyone was it was great to see Mulder and Scully back, and they kept the original 90s intro,
Oh, they did?
Oh yeah, it's you should watch them. They're a lot of fun, but do 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 do, and it had the same graphics and everything. It was pretty cool. And it was a lot of
they didn't want to hire a new guy to do that.
Well, it was a lot of tongue-in-cheek.
Just cut the old one.
Pretty much. It was a lot of tongue-in-cheek. And like I said, the story kind of suffered because it was only 6 episodes. Basically, the first episode, within the first 5 minutes, completely debunks everything that happened in like the previous 9 seasons and started this whole new conspiracy theory, which was fine, except for they didn't really explore it again until the last episode, and then they kind of forced it again. So, if they decide to do 6 more, or I'm hoping a 10-episode season, hopefully their storytelling is a little more cohesive and it runs through the entire season a little bit better than it did in 6 episodes. But it was still a lot of fun. So I guess this is my mini review for X-Files. I say watch them if you're an X-Files fan, but watch it for nostalgia and just for the fun factor, because you don't get a lot of great cohesive storytelling. But no, Phil, from what I'm hearing is they're going to be bringing them back for more. Everybody on board was, David Duchovny, Gillian Anderson, Chris Carter, everybody had a great time together again, and they kind of realized how much they missed it. And so it sounds like we're going to get more X-Files. How many? I don't know. And when? Who knows? But there you go.
So maybe a slight cock tease, Phil.
Yeah, and Phil had a follow-up question. He wants us to officially address him from now on as General Phil. No, we're not doing it.
No, sorry.
Sorry, Phil. Philip. We'll call you Philip, but
we
we're not
don't
going to
give
call you
out
General
titles
Phil.
in the GDR army quite
Yeah,
yet.
we said if we have a GDR army. Tell you what, Philip, if you actually recruit people and show us that they liked our Facebook page and followed us on YouTube, we may promote you to a general. But
if you can create your own squadron.
Yeah, you haven't created your own squadron.
And a squadron must have at least, 20-something people in it?
You're a great soldier. You might be you're definitely one of our most loyal soldiers, but, you haven't been promoted. You're not a leader yet. You haven't led others to the site yet. So until that happens, you have to just be a really gritty sergeant. I'm sorry. I'll tell you. But you don't have to be the sergeant that got gunned down in platoon and he got shot in his arms while he's flailing in the air. You don't have to be that guy. But you can be like Sergeant Rico from Starship Troopers. He was pretty cool.
It's always a good one.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Another loyal listener, Brian from Washington. He wants to know, Ryan, what is our most prized geek items in our collection? And what was the first thing we ever collected?
Oh my god, the first thing I ever collected, other than like football cards?
It's geeky. It's kind of sports geeky, but it's still geeky.
Yeah.
Well, what are you thinking of?
I used to collect baseball cards like crazy when I was a kid. And I still got a whole box full of like my special cards.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, as for prize collections, I would say probably like my coolest thing I got is, oh my god, this is heavy. So this.
Is that the Star Trek thing? Yeah.
Yeah. So this is, I had it framed. This is the mini poster from Star Trek Into Darkness.
It's my face.
And, oh yeah, sorry. And it's signed by 3 people from the show, from the movie. So Frank Cho, Alice Eve, and Simon Pegg. So they all signed it, and I'm trying not to make it fall over.
What Ryan doesn't actually know is
you do that. I want to make sure I don't break my freaking thing. So
I actually signed that. Ryan thinks that everybody else signed it. It was me. I couldn't get them to sign it, so I signed it and said that they did. So no one tell them. Anyway.
And then you had the screening company send it to me?
I did. I worked a lot of magic behind the scenes, Ryan. Everything for you, buddy. But
so
that's
what
cool.
about you? What's your prize?
My first thing I ever remember collecting, honestly, is when I was a kid. I used to collect Star Wars action figures, man. I had like the Death Star and all the little figures that they had the lightsabers that slid out the hands, and you can, You know,
I had that Darth Vader somewhere.
oh, I know I got one somewhere too, but that was my first thing I really collected, and then I got into I liked a lot of the memorabilia. So like Star Trek was really big too when I was a kid, and so they did a lot of promotions. Like I remember, I think it was Burger King. You could collect the glasses for Star Trek, and I had a bunch of Star Trek Episode 3 glasses. I don't know why, but I was kind of like that, just nostalgia stuff. Even when I was a kid, I thought the memorabilia was pretty cool. And then when I got older, I started collecting comic books like everybody else, and then the sky's the limit. As you can see, I collect all kinds of. I mean, you know, now that I'm an adult with credit cards, I don't collect anything anymore. I'm just, you know, I just hanging out with my stuff here.
And now that you're a grown adult making adult money.
Yeah, it's even worse now that I have a credit card and cash. It's like, oh, sure, I'll pay for that. That's awesome. What's my most prized? You know what my most prized geek collection right now is? I'm gonna show you. This. This is my most. This is my most prized geek collection. You know why this is my most prized possession in my collection? Because one of our faithful 50 sent it to me. That, my friends, is awesome. So, this is my most prized possession. And it's an awesome Luke Skywalker face battle damage tauntaun thing. It's awesome. My other most favorite thing is actually kind of a recent addition. My wife for Christmas got me this awesome Thor lamp. I have it in my bedroom.
Oh.
It's cool because it's like the 1980s comic book version of Thor, and it's like this tall. I mean, it's really
She
big.
actually let you put it in the bedroom?
That's what I'm saying. She bought it for me, and she said I could put it in my bed. Well, I said I'm putting it in the bedroom. That's what I do. But it's the one thing in our bedroom that's totally nerded out, and it's there, and it's awesome, and I love it. And what's really cool is like whenever she's talking trash, I'll be like, "Don't make me sick Thor on you. He's watching right now." I point to it, and she just shakes her head at me. It's so much fun.
So is Mosier holding up the light bulb?
No, he's got Mjolnir like this, and then behind him there's like a stem and then a big bulb. And
oh, okay.
I'll send you a picture of it sometime. And then the light cover, the light shade is like old comic books.
Oh, cool.
I'll send you a picture of it. It's pretty awesome. So that's probably my most fun. I mean, I have a lot of cool old comic books and a lot of cool stuff, but off the top of my head, I was trying to think about it, and those are the first two that came to my mind. Was my tauntaun, my faithful 50 cent tauntaun, and my cool Thor lamp that my wife got me. So there you go. All right, and then lastly, last up, we have a new questionnaire to the show. He's been on our Facebook page, and I believe you said he's been affiliated with our Watch Play Read site for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But Eric from New Jersey, a new member of the faithful 50 Cents a Question, he wants to know, do we think movie studios are going to get ridiculous now with rated R comic book movies? So before we answer that, we'd like to say thank you, Eric, for being part of the show, and we appreciate you submitting a question. So hopefully you do it every week, but thank you very much for being part of the fun. We really do appreciate it. And to answer your question, yes and no.
I don't think so.
I'm going to say yes and no. There's going to be some properties that are going to be a direct result of Deadpool that you're going to shake your head and be like, this is ridiculous. But I think like you said, Ryan, I think for the most part, I do think a lot of people understand why Deadpool was successful, and I don't think, I still think we're going to get rated. We've been getting rated R comic book movies for a long time. I mean, Wanted, rated R comic book movie. Kick-Ass, rated R comic movie. Kingsman, rated R comic book movie. So I think we might get more rated R comic book movies now. I think it might green light a few projects.
I mean, we like you said, we've been getting them already. It's just this was the first one to just go absolutely insane. Mm-hmm. And so yes, you're gonna get, I would probably say there's gonna be 2 or 3 movies that probably didn't need to be rated R that will be made rated R. But from everything else, it's probably essentially gonna stay the same because, like you said, Deadpool is kind of a property unto itself. It's rated R because I've been reading Deadpool comics this week on Comixology, and holy shit, that stuff is so rated R. His guts are all coming out, and all the time, and it's just how it is, and you can't force X-Men to be rated R. I mean, it's just you be damaging it way too much just to try and get that stuff. I mean, there's a lot of comics that can tilt that way, like Wolverine and those kind of things. If they do decide to make that a rated R route. But, I mean, for the most part, I don't think we're going to get that more. I mean, there will be a couple that will be noticeably, that you will just kind of shake your head because they're just trying way too hard to make it rated R just to try and get the Deadpool money.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's going to change things really that much.
No, I do think if anybody pulls something fishy, it's going to be Fox.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a rated R Fantastic Four comedy that comes out that's just awful.
Yeah, it's probably.
So, I mean, I don't know. I hope that answered your question. I mean, I think I do think we're gonna get one or two movies that you're gonna shake your head at. But I think, if anything, I think the positive from this is that we will get more rated R properties greenlit. So, obviously, if Punisher wasn't already coming to
Netflix,
Daredevil, I think you could see something where we might finally get a Punisher rated R movie again. That was actually good. But
so they said that they're not going to do a Punisher standalone show just yet. So it might be something that we'll find out.
Well, and I don't think they're going to do a movie either. I'm just saying, had we not got the Netflix series, we probably would have maybe gotten a movie. I do think maybe this helps Blade move along. We might get a new Blade. Blade's another rated R type property. So,
Does Marvel own that again?
What?
Does Marvel own that again?
Marvel does own that again. You know what? The last little bit I think might happen now, and I'm kind of excited. I think you might see DC take more chances with rated R properties. You might get a Lobo movie. I think that's the most direct one. I don't know if it would work, but Lobo's kind of a character like Deadpool who's a little goofy, and a rated R character from DC that maybe get greenlit. I don't know if that would be as successful just because Lobo has never been as popular of a character as Deadpool, and a lot of people, he's kind of a hard character to understand, honestly. But that might be a movie that gets greenlit that shouldn't get greenlit because of the success of Deadpool. But what I would really like to see is I think we might see a Constantine movie, a Dark Justice League that would be rated R. It would have Swamp Thing, Constantine, Zatanna. It's that dark, mystical, kind of anti-Justice League who fights supernatural characters, and that could be a great rated R movie. So I don't know. That I think could happen because of this. So I do look for Warner Brothers maybe and DC to take a few more chances on rated R properties now that everyone, Deadpool's shown that it can really be successful. So I don't know. We'll see.
If done right.
Time will tell. In the meantime, we're supposedly going to get a rated R Wolverine, and we're definitely getting a rated R cut of Batman v Superman. Pow!
Yeah.
If you can't tell, I'm excited. So we've already ran super long tonight, so we'll make our weekly recommendations pretty quick, considering Ryan doesn't have one. But
I have one.
But real quick, thanks everybody, Brian and Phil. You guys are always throwing questions out there. We really appreciate it. And thank you, Eric, our new Faithful 50 member. Gold star for you, buddy. Welcome to the Faithful 50. You will find it warm, cuddly, and we give lots of hugs.
Yes. And we do get a complimentary masturbating unicorn.
Yeah. Pillow pet.
So
from Deadpool.
Yes. Let's see. So my recommendation of the week, I did kind of touch on it earlier. Could have kind of sparked my head, but Vikings is back.
Yes.
The next season of Vikings is back. God damn it, Rolo. That's all I can say.
You traitor.
And I don't want to give away too much, but Vikings is one of my favorite shows on TV, to be honest. And I'm so glad I took your advice and started watching it. So, and yeah, it's awesome. If you want, it's more of a mystical take on the old Viking pillaging lore and all that kind of stuff. It's centered on Ragnar Lothbrok, who could or could not have been a real person, because there is a lot of like I said, mystical stuff that's involved with his legend. So,
hey, just because Odin may have showed up last season does not mean it's mythical.
Yeah, or the Seer.
And
all that kind of stuff. But yes, watch Vikings on the History Channel of all places.
Yeah,
so
fantastic. Season 4
just started.
Yeah, I think you can catch up on the old seasons on the History app. So check it out. Highly recommend watching Vikings as well. Good job, Ryan. Well, I had a box. That's the reason I was looking around for it. Is my recommendation tonight is something that I've been testing out to see. Oh, there's the box over there. All right, I'm not gonna go grab it. I got it for Christmas, and I've been checking it out to see if I could recommend it or not. But I'm going to be recommending everyone check out the Amazon Echo. So, if you're not familiar with this, they've been showing a lot on TV lately. Alec Baldwin's had some pretty cool commercials as of late for the Echo here. Basically, as you can see, it's a speaker. Well, maybe you can't tell what it is, but it's a speaker, but it's also an OS operating system. So think of Amazon's version of Siri, and its name is Alexa. As you can see here, Alexa turns blue and it lights up. And you can tell her what to do or ask her things that you want. So, Alexa, tell me a joke.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Oh, well, I should have spoken. Alexa, tell me a joke. And it's not going to work now that we're... Alexa, you're letting me down. Alexa, tell me a joke.
I've recently decided to sell my vacuum cleaner. All it does is gather dust.
Oh, my God. As you can tell, she sells bad jokes. But she's a great... Well, it's a great...
Alexa! Alexa! Listen to me, bitch! Alexa!
She doesn't like you. She likes the sound of my voice. She's a speaker system that hooks up to the internet. It's actually pretty cool. It hooks into all your Amazon stuff. So, like, if you pay for Amazon Prime, you get all the free Prime music, like I do. She'll look through your Prime account, and anything that's on Prime for free you can play. Alexa, play Queen, "We Will Rock You."
We Will Rock You by Queen from Prime Music.
Change the volume. Show me that. It's pretty.
Alexa, turn down to a 2. Alexa, turn up to an 8. Alexa, turn down to a 6.
Sorry, which device did you mean?
No. Alexa, off.
For help, check out the help section in the Alexa app.
Shut up,
If
Alexa.
you're done for now, say cancel. Otherwise,
Cancel.
Sorry, which device did you mean?
Alexa, off.
Sorry, I couldn't find it.
Shut up. Alexa, off. There we go. See, as you can tell, on the first try, it works perfectly. I don't think Amazon's going to give us any sponsorship for this thing. As you can tell, with any OS operating device that's voice activated.
If you want to get a device that doesn't listen to fucking anything that you say and works.
I'm going to call this device my wife.
Sometimes, apparently.
This is my new wife, Alexa. She doesn't listen to me. No, I mean, honestly, Alexa works pretty good. I think part of the problem is I'm really close to it. It works better at a distance, but for the most part, it actually is pretty accurate and it works well. Like any OS operated device connected to the internet, you have to be very specific, and it's limited to what it's commanded on. The cool thing about Alexa and the Echo in general is that there's a dedicated app that hooks to your phone that you can hook up other apps to. So you can hook up your ESPN app, or you can hook up other things, and once you're connected to that, she will operate all that stuff, all that information for you. So if you say, hey, what time does the Seahawks play? She'll give you the information. Or as you can tell, she's got a large library of music, and the sound is really good. It's a really clear operating system. I mean, the sound quality is really good. I mean, it's not going to get super, super loud like some of these giant, $400 speaker tubes, but it does the job, and it works really well. What's pretty cool too is the Echo will, if you hook it up to certain apps, it'll read you recipes, it'll help you cook, any normal Wikipedia stuff on the internet, it'll look up for you. So if you ask it definitions, it'll tell you. If you ask it how to spell something, it'll help you out. You can ask it what the weather is. Alexa, what's the weather going to be in Seattle tomorrow?
Here's the forecast for tomorrow in Seattle, Washington. Look for showers with a high of 56 and a low of 46.
So, I mean, it responds, as you can tell, when it does respond to your voice. It works better when it's not right up to your face, but when it responds to your voice, it responds quickly, accurately, and the voice is pretty soothing. It's a better voice than what you get with Siri. It's not quite as broken, but
yes.
Right now Siri does operate a little bit better. I think Apple's put a little more development into it. The Echo is a relatively new device from Amazon. So, but anyway, as you can tell, I do really enjoy it. We use it a lot at my house. The kids love playing with it. It's great for music. Christmas time, it was great. You can just say, hey, play Christmas songs, and it'll find tons of Christmas music on Amazon Prime. So it does play like your iTunes library. You just have to hook up your phone as a Bluetooth, and then it's kind of fun. You can tell Siri to tell Alexa to play music, so it works pretty good. But
hey Siri, bitch slap Alexa because she's not listening to me.
The only downside to it that I will say is, other than some of the operating system errors that you're going to get with any voice-activated operating system, it doesn't have a battery, so it has to stay plugged into a wall at all times. So it's not one of these ones that you can unplug and then take with you and put anywhere in the house. It does have to have a dedicated charger, but It's a small price to pay. The price point on it, I want to say, is usually $179 on Amazon. I believe my wife got it for me for Christmas for $150, so sometimes it's on sale on Amazon. But for that amount of money, I mean, most speakers like this are going for well over $200. So for what you get, and considering it's one of the only ones that maybe the only one that it's the only one I've heard of that has an operating system that works with you and can talk to you, it is well worth the money. I love it, and I'm looking forward to upgrades. And because it's always connected to the internet, when Amazon updates it, it'll get the update and get better as it goes. So Amazon Echo, thumbs up.
Cool.
I say buy it.
Sounds awesome.
All right, well, that's about all the time we got. We've already ran super long. Should we tell everyone real quick where they can find us and all the affiliates we're with?
You can find us on Facebook at the Geek Dad Report. You can find us on Twitter at Geek Dad Report. You can find Brian at Brian West 53. You can find me at Big Bruiser on Twitter. We're also on Podhell Media, iTunes. We're on Watch, Play, Read.
Yes.
I think that's it.
That's it. And on podhell.com, don't forget, you can find many other awesome shows as well. We are part of a group of podcasters who love doing this stuff. So check out all the other ones. There's a few other cool geek shows on there as well.
And there's a couple new geek shows. There's a couple of religious, anti-religious shows.
And about a guy who travels the world.
There's one about two people that live in Turkey and about traveling the world and stuff like that. It's pretty cool, actually.
But of course, you can always find us, which is definitely the most important.
Yes,
Geek
we
Dad
are.
Report.
We definitely have more episodes than everybody else.
So, and also, as always, you can find us on YouTube at Geek Dad Report. So, please feel free to share, like, subscribe, leave us comments, stars. We don't ask for any money, but we would ask that you guys leave us a review or a rating or tell your friends about us, so we can grow and give everybody free unicorn masturbation pillows.
Yes.
From Deadpool.
I think that's all. My life would be complete if we could give everyone a masturbation unicorn pillow pet.
Yeah, and the only way we can do that is if everyone subscribes and tells your family members subscribes and likes us and views us, and then we get really big and famous. And we don't want your money; we want YouTube's money.
Yeah, we want Google.
We want iTunes money, YouTube's money, Google money, and then we can do this for a living. And then you guys can get a show every day, or at least every other day, or at least twice a week.
Yeah,
reviews. Ryan's willing to dance naked. We're throwing that out there.
Pretty much.
I am too. I'm not gonna lie. I got no shame. Well, everybody, thank you for joining us for another wonderful episode. And I'm stalling again as usual because I don't plan ahead.
Well, we'll be back next week for episode number 47.
Yeah, we got 50 coming up. We should plan something big.
Maybe Chris will show up. Who knows?
Yeah, possibly. But yeah, we got episode 50. We're going to do something big for episode 50. I haven't talked to Ryan yet about it, but we have almost an entire year under our belt, so we'll do some fun celebration and maybe give away something. We'll have to talk about it off air. But once again, everybody, thank you for joining us for another episode. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace.
I remember coming up, not even a buck, ain't even a cent to make enough. We was out there chasing after stuff that you only find in your dreams.